This week in Texas, 3 bills targeting gender-affirming care were filed Monday in the Texas House. One designating gender-affirming care for minors as child abuse under state law. Another set to revoke liability insurance for providers that prescribe medications used to treat gender dysphoria in minors, making a huge step to protect children from these new procedures. This in Texas. Ken Paxton is the Attorney General there in Texas. He joins us live. AG, good to see you, as always. Talk to me about these bills and why it's so important to get these passed in your state.
Well, just remember, this is the beginning. The legislature is not in session. These are different people filing their bills. But I do think it's important to address this issue. It's been controversial over the last couple of years where parents make decisions for their children that permanently affect their gender and their status. And the legislature, I believe, will come in and try to protect that. They've also shown interest in dealing with some of these issues related to drag shows and having minors at those. We'll have to see what happens. It is up to the elected representatives of the state to make those decisions, and it looks like there's at least some interest in doing that.
Yeah, you mentioned the drag shows. Another measure that was introduced seeking to classify any business that is hosting a drag performance as a sexually oriented business under state law. So it means that patrons rather younger than 18 years old would be barred from entering these establishments. Is this also something that would have to go through state legislature? And do you think this would pass?
Yeah, I do think it does have to go through the state legislature. There's no particular crime associated with that. Obviously, these are kind of new issues that have arisen over the last couple of years. But yeah, I do think the legislature is going to certainly debate this. Whether they pass it, it's really up to them. I certainly hope they do something about this because it's become a real problem in Texas.
You've seen more states pushing back against gender-affirming care for minors. Multiple states now, Texas one of them. Why now?
You know, I just think it's one of those issues that has sort of popped up. It wasn't something happening 10 years ago, at least not. It wasn't very common, or even 5 years ago. It seems like it's just all of a sudden come on the scene, particularly during the Biden administration, and it's concerning to the citizens of Texas and to some of the elected representatives. And I think they want to figure out how should we address this. And that debate will happen in the months of January, February, March, April, and May.
Yeah, a big first quarter, at least, for Texas legislature, et cetera. I wanted to move this to this story here. Again, the border crisis, as we know, continues with record numbers. Governor Greg Abbott sent now a busload here to Philadelphia after the mayor proclaimed the city a sanctuary to migrants. This is, by the way, exclusive video to Newsmax that we're able to show you and our viewers. What do you make of this situation? It's seemingly allowing other so-called sanctuary cities to feel the effects of this surge that Texas feels. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you see that these cities declared sanctuary city status during the Trump administration because they didn't like the handling of the border. But now that they're actually having to deal with some of the impact, you can see they really are. Even with just a few hundred people or even just less than 100 people, these cities struggle to deal with the consequence of having people show up and what that costs those cities, and whether it's related to social issues or whether it's related to cost. And I think the message is clear. We deal with over 5,000 a day, and we're not getting federal help, and we're having to deal with these issues of cost and crime every single day. And I think it highlights the hypocrisy of some of these sanctuary cities that have no compassion for our state, yet when they have to deal with just a small problem, they have a lot of difficulty doing it.
Yeah, Chris Magnus stepping down, resigning from his post for head of CBP. That's the latest news, at least from a federal level. We'll continue to watch that, see what happens. Ken Paxton, Attorney General in Texas. Ken, good to see you. Enjoy your weekend. We appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. You too.
No crooked establishment.
None of that twisting the
truth.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax.
Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think.
They let
me decide.
Newsmax.
Real news
For real people.